Hey there guys, this is Hector from Vhector Graphics, and today we'll be making this. Hey, that's not an owl. Alright guys, this is it. Here is the welcome page from Photoshop. I'm working with the CC 2018 for your reference. So let's create a new document. And this is a new document dialog. We're gonna be working with inches right now. So let's make this 8 by 10, as I have it right here. The resolution 300, and let's choose RGB color since we'll be working for displays for the digital world. So if you want to print what you're doing, like reproduction, you should use CMYK, but right now let's go with RGB and let's hit create, and this is a canvas. Now let's start by bringing up the main background. So this is our mountains, and pressing Command T we bring up the transform tool. We hit enter. Let me lower. No, you know what, let's leave it like that. And now I'm going to bring up the new sky because this one is really boring. This one is better, of course. So let's position it in place like so. And now I want to get rid of this straight line, this hard edge. So what I'm gonna do is add a mask. You can see it here. We have the mask on already, and pressing the key E on the keyboard and making the color, the foreground color, as white. Let's erase and let's blend this new sky that we have here. So we do like so. I want to mix a little bit this side here. And with pressing the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we can go ahead and change this number here. That's the opacity of that of this brush we're using. So we can go a little bit like more subtle while erasing. So we can blend this in a nice way. So here you go. I have the hard edge here. Let me go 30%, and then with the bracket keys we can go up and down in size. See? So we can go more in detail and do stuff in detail, like here in this part here. There we go. So for now it looks good. So now I want to bring up the second mountain that I have. I have this image, but this I'm gonna use as the foreground. Okay. There you go. We position it on the side. We bring it a little bit lower, and again we apply a mask. And let's get rid of all these hard edges over here. So let's go a little bit harder. There you go. Oh, now I'm gonna go big and 20%. I'm gonna start erasing this side here. It doesn't matter that I'm erasing parts of the mountain that I want in, because now I'm gonna go smaller with the bracket keys. I'm gonna press X, and I'm going to bring back this side of the mountain Now I will go to 10 in opacity, and I will bring back a little bit of the bottom of the mountain, so it looks like it's getting into that fog, this fog that we have here. See, it's a pretty cool effect. And there we go. We even have some trees over here in the distance, so it looks like we have like a pretty cool foggy action going on here. There, if you see here, it's perfectly blended in, so I'm happy with it. Now let's bring the main subject. It's gonna be this owl here, and I'm gonna make it really big. I'm going to make this owl extremely big, because that's going to be the main purpose, to make this owl seems like it is huge on this side of the mountain. Okay, so what I did here was bring up the owl, and then in the blending mode I used the multiply tool. This one, what it will do is, if you notice, everything that is white is gonna go away. The multiply blending mode is gonna take everything that's white, it's gonna turn it off, and we are left with this, with everything that's black or has some shades of gray or color. I'm going to next, let's apply a mask to the owl, and let's erase. You see here, everything that's supposed to be behind that fog, I'm gonna erase it, right? So I'm gonna go 50%, not to go too crazy. I'm going to erase all this part here, everything that is supposed to be behind this foggy environment on this side, right? So here we should do this, and you'll see that later on we're gonna be bringing back parts of the owl. This is just so we have an idea of how it's gonna look, right? So here we are. Now let's bring up the white that we took off, but just inside of the actual owl. What I'm gonna do is I want to stand in a layer below the owl and create, with this icon here, a new layer, like so. I will press B on the keyboard. That's gonna bring the brush tool, and with the white on, I want to start painting inside of the owl, of the actual animal, like so. So we can go outside of the owl for the moment, doesn't matter. We'll rectify that later on. There you go. So now I'm going to, as I mentioned, I'm going to rectify all that spillage that we have. So I'm going to apply another mask. And guys, the why I use mask for everything is because I don't want to be destructive while designing. I want everything to be reversible. Okay, so this is important. You'll see a lot of, like 90% of tutorials out there in YouTube, they don't use masks. They destroy the whole image. They do amazing stuff, by the way, but they almost always you like work destructively, and I hate that. I cannot tell you. I mean, this is a pro tip. Never destroy anything that you're doing. Try with all your strength. Do not destroy anything. Always use mask. Always like try to think non-destructively, and you're gonna be fine. Okay, now for this white layer, I'm going to take out this bottom part here, because your owl is also like hiding behind those clouds, right? So let me bring up a little bit the owl again here. So I was erasing instead of bringing it up. That's why you work undestructively. There you go. Now I want to bring a little bit of the white over here. And now we'll see from outside how it looks. It's looking pretty good. So if I erase a little bit of this here, there, I'm going to attach them both. I will group them. This is gonna call owl, and I'm going to put this owl behind this layer here, because this is a foreground. So this foreground, and this is going to be the background. Cool. So now that we have everything in place, I want to bring a couple of this one, no, a couple of, like, there you go, something like this. Okay, let's bring the opacity down a little bit. Let's work on this side here. I just want it to like hide this bottom part here. I don't want it to touch the face of the owl. Let me see how it looks. There you go. It gives me some action here. That's cool. That's perfect. So you know what? Let's put it inside with the foreground mountain, and we are good so far. So this is the foreground, this is the owl, and this is the background. Cool. Now let's save the project, because we have like come a long way now. So let's save it by naming it the owl. Hit save. It's gonna save now, and it's done. Now I want to bring up some flares. So what I want to do here is if you notice, all the image is kind of blue, so I'm going to use that to my advantage, and I'm going to contrast that blue with some orange. So that's gonna give me that Hollywood look, more or less. So let's flip it. To do this, what I did was Command T, right click, and flip horizontal. You can flip it vertical, horizontal, or you can rotate it. So I flip it horizontal, hit enter. I want to match more or less what let's go like this. And since the background of this lens flare is black, I will use, instead of multiply, which hides the whites, I'm gonna use the screen blending mode that will hide all the blacks. And there we have it. I want to make this bigger, bring it down a little bit, so. And now I want to apply a mask, and I'm gonna get rid of this hard edge down here. Right? I want the owl to still be blue. I don't want it to be all red. And the rest, I will leave it as it is. So now let me do a simple color correction. So when we go to Lightroom, everything is more or less in place. If I do this and this, start to get the feeling that this is a really cold place, and that's what I want. So, okay. So this icon here, this white square, besides the effect, means that this is a mask. So I can take out that effect from the places I want, I choose. So I want to take this blue from here, this blue from here. For example, I want to bring it from here. I'll leave it what it is. Okay. There you go. So let me bring up a little bit more here of the lens flare. I go black here, and I bring up the lens flare a little bit more. Then I adjust it like that. There we go. This is looking good. So now, let me see. Let's make this, for the sake of this tutorial, you know, it's a cool lens flare. Not the best, like the transformer lens flare, you know. And let me add a color balance so I can change the color of that lens flare. And let's make it red and yellow. There we go, like so. So if I take it off, it works. It's working. Yeah. Giving it a little bit of green is gonna make it more orange. If I go the other way, and it's gonna be more magenta, so I want it to be more orange. Let me try this. Okay, I think this is cool. Now I want to, since we have this lens flare here, I want to apply a little bit of highlight to the owl. So how we can do this? It's actually pretty simple. So if the sun is here, it's gonna be hitting the owl this way. So I will draw a shape like so, outside of the owl. I'm gonna make it a shape, white shape, and hold on. I'm gonna make it blur. Like so. And let's use Shift, the plus and the minus keys to start testing an appropriate blending mode. I think that's the one. So I applied a mask, and with the E from the keyboard, I'm gonna erase the top part. And I'm going to go hard on it. Okay, I'm going to lower the opacity a little bit. You see, now we have this highlight here, but of course the light is orange, so I want it to be orange. So we double click, and let's do orange. Let's see what happens. There you go. Let me apply a little bit more of go, and now we can bring it down a bit. It's too orange, I think. So what we can do is go again and bring it over from this side that is full orange to this side that has more white, like so. And then I can go and pull the opacity a little bit more, like you're seeing there. And I can do the same thing on this side. So it ends here, gets near here, and then it should end this side here. Just make it as near to the owl as possible, so we don't have to worry about the spillage too much. We use the same one that we used before. We apply a Gaussian blur that should be the same one that this one has already, and we have the overlay blending mode applied, and that's going to blend it real nice. We just have to go in and take the spillage a little bit. There we go. I think it's looking good. Highlight. It's really subtle. Okay, it's not that extreme. Let's put 78 here. That's opacity, so it matches with this one. And on the whole group, we can bring it back a little bit more. Let me see. Yeah, I think it works. Perfect. Now I can see here that the wing is spilling inside this mountain. That means two things: either that the owl is on top, which is not, or I erased part of this mountain here, and I need to go black and bring back that layer like so, which I'm able to do because I didn't destroy it. Really important, I'm telling you guys. Here we have it. So this is the main image that I want to create today. Now I don't like that this bird over here almost going out of the frame, So I'm going to go to the this layer here, the clouds, and let me see which bird is this one. We have this flock here, so it should be go up. It's this one here. So we grab the clone tool. I'm going to grab from near this bird. I'm going to erase it. Basically what I did was get the tool, press the key Option, grab from one place. So I'm gonna press and hold Option. I'm going to click here, and basically Photoshop say, okay, this guy want to grab this piece here, and now I can bring it over to here. You see? So now that we can do this like really detailed, but there's no need. Everything's good. So I'm going to save. Command S. I saved this here, and magically it disappeared on the original image. And now we have birds where they should be. So next, what I want to do is, I think we are done with the compositing. I'm not too fan of this wing over here. Let me see what I can do about this. Let me see. Okay. It's actually tricky, and it's tricky because the background is too dark in contrast with the wing, so it shows too much that contrast. Okay, but since I have something in mind, I think that won't matter. So cool, we have everything now set up. I'm going to press Command A. That's gonna bring the whole image. It's gonna select it. I will press Command Shift C. That will select everything, and I'm going to press Command V. As you can see here, we have the whole image in only one layer. Everything you saw there is in one layer now, so we can go ahead and apply the high pass. With this, we will give it the image a lot of sharpness. So that high pass, once we put it there, we go to overlay, and now everything is a little bit sharper. Less this picture of the owl is not that high resolution, so you know. But now we have sharpness, and I can go again. Control A. Control C, Control V, and I have everything like with the sharpness and everything. I have it on another layer now, and this layer I want to go to Filter, Blur. It's gonna be Radial Blur. Let's go with Zoom, and I want to position it. You know what? Before doing that, we need to do something else. If I apply that effect like that on that layer that we have here, this layer, as you can see, it's not a smart object, right? If we apply that effect here, that's irreversible. We are destroying this layer. So what I'm gonna do is convert this layer in a smart object, right? Now I will apply the effect. It's gonna be Radial Blur. And let's press OK and watch what's gonna happen. You saw here That means that if I want to get rid of this effect that you see here, I just have to drag it and the effect is gone. That's pretty cool, you see? So all the effects, try to apply them to the smart object, always. So it's reversible. So this gave me a little bit of zoom like action, like the owl is coming to me. And you can see it looks pretty cool. So let's save this. It's saved. Now let's go to Lightroom. And now we can play with it in Lightroom. We go to Develop. And let's do the usual play. First, let's go a little bit of yellow, a little bit of green, exposure, it's fine there. Let's give it a little bit of contrast. Let's bring down the highlights, so all the details in the owl face and the clouds come back. Shadows, no, let's bring down a little bit of the blacks. Clarity, it crunches the blacks even more. Vibrance, of course. Saturation, yes, please. Now aqua, I want to bring it. Notice, I don't know if you can see this in YouTube, but if you go all the way, if you go too exaggerated, you're gonna see that you start getting artifacts. That's not good. So if I want to give it a little bit of more aqua, and I will go like really subtle here. There you go. I want orange to be really high. Sharpening, let's sharpen a little bit. And this is good. Now let's give it some. This area here is dark. I want to make this area darker also. So let's go like this. I lower the exposure like so. That's cool. Let's bring a new one. And let's make this side here also more contrasty. Highlight, but at the same time really this is good, looking good. We can go now and apply a little bit of burn to the image. Good. Now let's do a new one, but this time I want to highlight the highlights that we just did. So this is before, this is after. And it's pretty cool. In case I want to, for example, add some like snow falling, and we just did all this, it doesn't matter, we can do that. We can go to the PSD, we can go ahead and look for snow PNG. Let's bring it over. Let's apply the screen blending mode, and that we have snow now, but since it's a smart object already, I'm going to apply a blur, but this time a motion blur. Okay, so this motion blur, I want it to follow the axis of the whole picture, so this one is like this. So let's do something like this. Let's see. not that violent, because there we go. This is looking good. I'm lowering the opacity a little bit, and with the mask erase tool, I'm going to erase a little bit of the bottom. And here you have it, guys. Now I save again. It's gonna ask me where should I save it, because we are using it on Lightroom. I'm gonna tell it, hey, in the same place, it's the same image, replace. It's replacing it. It's done. We go to Lightroom. We go to the library. Notice how everything came up, but it has a little arrow up here. You press it. Before doing that, right click, develop setting. That's everything we've done right now, and copy all the settings just in case sometimes this goes wrong. So I press a little arrow, import setting from disk. Did you notice that every development went away? That's why. Development settings, paste development settings, everything is back. We now have the image with all the settings and the snow. And this image is pretty cool. I mean, I like it. You like this image? Would you have done something different? I don't know, let me know. Alright guys, this is everything I have for you today. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe, use the little bell, and give it a like if this was helpful for you in any way possible. Until next time, this is Hector from Vhector Graphics, signing out.